Hello everyone and welcome to ZP Productions. This is the review of the ZMF Atrium Open. As you can see here, this is the version. This is not the newest one. I think the newest one has a lighter shade of wood. But no, this version is fantastic. And this is my own copy. I bought it secondhand at about 2,400 Sing dollars. Brand new is 2,600 or 2,500 USD. Which means if this was a brand new set in Singapore, 3.6K. So I saved like 33% of the price. But even ignoring the price, I think this is, probably the best dynamic headphone you can get. And it is one of my most favorite headphones in my collection. I have a lot. And I even have something like the Warwick Bravura. This is definitely one of the best. And it's something that I highly recommend many people to try out. So this is the ZMF Atrium, and if you do not want to go through my entire review, I'll say as this is a headphone worth trying. It's very nice, built very well, sounds really good, have a very, I would say, pleasant signature that will probably not turn many people off. And all the things that are good about it, soundstage, whiteness, smoothness, warmness, is all there. This is a really good headphone that most people can get into it, enjoy it, and really don't think too much about it. I think this is really one of the best dynamic headphone in a lot of ways, and in this review I'll go in depth into it. So first, let's talk about the build quality. Now this is a headphone secondhand, so I won't talk about unboxing, but there is a Pelican-like case, and then with some cables inside, some cards. I won't go in depth into it, it's really no big deal. But the headphone itself is really well built. As you can see, a really nice wood, a very nice grills here, and a lot of perforations and holes all around the headphone itself. Now this is a pad with perforations. You can use different pads for different sound. This is up to your own personal preference. And this is the ZMF headbands. It's very standard, and overall I think that when it comes to build quality, this is fantastic. It is ZMF standard, very well built. Now the connector below is mini XLRs, as with every ZMF headphone except the bokeh. The bokeh uses hi-fi man like 3.5mm jacks, but this still uses the XLR type, which I do like, and I have tons of those cables around. In terms of using it, it is very comfortable. Firstly, the pads, of course, ZMF pads are really big and very soft and cushiony. And then the headbands are also very nice. The pressure is very low. Now, just to note that because the pressure is quite low, I feel that, if you do lean forward or lean too much to the back, ZMF headphones do drop off from your head. This is not a very light headphone, but not very heavy either. I think it's 490 grams. So, definitely not something that, you can just like lean at an angle and use it. Because if you do that, it will likely fall off your head, unless, of course, you rotate the headphone forward or something to make sure that the band is always on top of the head itself. If it's not on top of the head, there is a good chance this headphone will slide off. Now, build quality, comfort, I rate it as one of the best you can get in the market. Really one of the best build quality and comfort of this headphone itself. I don't even think whether is there any other headphones that is truly more comfortable than this. I think it is probably going to be really rare to ever find a headphone that is anywhere remotely more comfortable than this Atrium Open itself. Now, when it comes to the sound quality, I'll say as what I said in the earlier part, this is a headphone that everybody, or should I say most people, can easily get into because it does everything so well, so nice, so smooth, and so enjoyable. Now, I would say that this is quite an expensive headphone. It doesn't have certain technical qualities, I feel personally, compared to really some of the very technical headphones or the most extreme high end of the headphones. Example is things like details, separation. They are not the type that you will just suddenly sit up, and admire the detail, or sit up and look for the instruments because the separation is so darn good. No, the Atrium Open is just about being just nice. The details are there. if you want to dive deep into it, you want to focus on it, it's possible. But when you do general listening, it's not something that you will ever notice that the details here are fantastic. Similarly for the separation, there is separation. Instruments don't feel like they are clumped together, but they feel like they are part of a big piece. So it's never a case where you suddenly sit up and say, hey, the separation, whoa, no, you will never get this with the Atrium. It's always this very nice, smooth, big piece that, you know, is coming together as one. You know, it's never like, well, separate instruments that just don't feel in place. You will never get that. You can get that in the Verite close. I'll talk about it in another review. Now, beyond just details and separation, when it comes to even clarity, same thing. This is a very clear headphone, but it's definitely not the absolute clearest you can get. And in fact, once again, the clarity is not something that you will notice. You know, it always feels like it's just one big piece of sound rather than many small little things. It's the nature of this headphone really. The nature of the headphone is not to let you pinpoint and study the music, but let you enjoy the music as it should be. Many instruments coming together as one to be an enjoyable one. That's also same for the clarity itself. It is clear, not the clearest, and doesn't emphasize on it either. But if you do A/B comparison with other headphones, this is really clear, but it doesn't emphasize on it. Now, let's talk about something that is more obvious, and that is a soundstage. This headphone has big soundstage, one of the biggest you can get for dynamic headphones. But the soundstage is not quite the same as some of the planar magnetic headphones that you get. I don't know, it's probably due to the design, like you can see here. This is not a true like full open driver exposed type of headphone. There's holes to let the air to vent out, but you know, it's not like it is all perforated all the way. The way it sounds like for the soundstage is that there is a bubble, first bubble, the center core, which is very defined. It's big, but it's around your head, you know, but it's defined, and that's where most of the music are. Then there is the edge. So when the music, you know, flows out and reaches the edges, it feels like this is kind of a very big open back where there is a clear edge to the outer rim of the sound. This is not like the Abyss headphones. The Abyss headphones always felt like there is no end to the edge. It always feels like, you know, you go all the way to the edge and you slowly soften, and then disappears into the ether. But this doesn't feel like that. There's always this like artificial sounding wall at the end. No, something like a concert hall where you know that there's some sort of reverb or some sort of reflection that's coming. So it doesn't feel like it's fully open, but it's very close. It's just, as I said, like a concert hall itself. Now, when it comes to the general tonality of the sound, I would say as this is more aligned to slightly touch of warmth for most amplifiers I try with. It is not a truly neutral sound headphone to me. It's just this slight touch of warmth and slight touch of smoothness that makes it a lot more enjoyable. There's also less emphasis, I feel, on the higher treble region. It is not easy to get sibilance on this headphone. Even with all kind of tracks, even the most sibilant track I have is Shatter Me. You don't really get sibilant unless you push it up really high. So it is a very well controlled headphone when it comes to the general frequency, while on the treble side, I feel that there is just probably a touch less energy there, but to me, it makes it really enjoyable. Now, when it comes to the general frequencies, the bass, this thing has really good sub bass, generally good bass, but it's a bass that, you know, you won't go head banging. It's not the bass that's exciting like the Abyss. It's not the high impact, super slam in your face type of bass in most modern IEMs today. It's the bass that will thump but not that hard. So if you are the type that want to listen to bass heavy music and rock your way through the night, this may not be it unless you on really loud. When you on loud enough, the bass will come alive, but that is really loud. Now, when it comes to the mids, I find that they are really smooth, really nice. And overall, I do enjoy the mids itself. As I said, there is clarity, there is detail, but it never emphasizes on it. So, you know, you can hear all the various instruments. It feels pretty good. Very nice. It's there. Well separated. And it's always this slightly rounded feel to everything. But it makes it very enjoyable. Now, I just want to say is that is this the most accurate sounding mids? somehow I think the Bravura is way better. It's, you know, when I listen to guitars and stuff, it sounds really nice and smooth here, but somehow it doesn't feel like it should actually be that, you know, especially for electric guitars. I feel that the Bravura brings out that pinch, that electrical high energy sound. This one doesn't. It just like dampens it slightly. So when it comes to instruments, I wouldn't say that it sounds wrong, but it definitely doesn't have the energy that I feel that you get in some other headphones, such as the Bravura or even the Verite Close. Now, when it comes to, I would say, as the treble, as I said, the treble itself is there, is present, is extended, but it is not emphasized here. So it never feels hot, it never feels sibilant, it never feels like, you know, it is drawing attention to itself. However, female vocals with a lot of air in their voice, which extends to the treble region, is well done here. You know, the vocals do extend very smooth and it decays off. So I think the female vocals on this headphone, the treble extension there, is still pretty prominent. Now, I'm not a treble lover, so I don't purposely go and listen to tracks with a lot of trebles. So I may not be the best guy to talk about it, but those that I tried so far seems to be very pleasant on this. Never irritates me. I just don't like anything that is very emphasized on the treble itself, even though I do like female vocals with a lot of air. But, you know, I don't like the emphasis, especially for instruments there. Now, the thing is, I went through all the sound quality. So why do I think this is such a good dynamic headphone? It's because it doesn't have the pitfalls of, like, say, to me, the HD 800S, which has this very strong treble energy, and it doesn't. How do I say? It is not enjoyable at times. But the Atrium, no matter what I throw at it, it's generally enjoyable. It really tries not to emphasize on all the technicalities of it, even though it does have it, but it doesn't emphasize on it, and it makes the listening experience so much better, so much more. How do I put it? I really don't know how to put it. I mean, everything feels just in place, is right, rather than, oh, I can listen to this guitar here, oh, I can listen to that instrument there. This thing never emphasizes it, and that's why I feel that this is a very pleasant headphone to get into, because the technicalities are there, but when you listen to it, you'll forget about technicalities and just enjoy the music, because the Atrium is very, very enjoyable. Now, when it comes to amplifiers, I think the Atrium is really not picky at all. In fact, I think it can be run with almost any amplifier you throw at it, even dongles. I tried with dongles and it's perfectly fine. But let me highlight a few. I mean, if you want to read the full amplifier talk on this Atrium Open, go to my Headphone link, look at the description below, find my Headphone link, because that is where I talk in depth into every single amplifier that I tried with it. But let me just highlight to you those that I like, at least within my collection itself. The most enjoyable one to me was the Woo Audio mini tube here. It's really enjoyable. It's like smooth, wide, emphasizes everything about the Atrium. You know, it's not meant to give you the most details, but with the Atrium, no, it's really about pushing the Atrium's goodness as far as possible. And the Woo mini tube here really does it well. I mean, this is also a device not meant to emphasize on details. It's to emphasize on the general feel and enjoyment of the music, and it's a great pairing, and it doesn't cost a lot. The other one that I really like was the Burson here. Now, the Burson, you can see here, the 3X GT. This is my favorite one if you're looking at desktop amplifier for solid state. It's also a slight touch of warm. It sounds big. It never feels congested. Doesn't feel sibilant. It also, once again, plays on the strength of the Atrium Open, which is the larger soundstage, the smoothness of the sound, the wideness, and generally the enjoyment of it rather than the emphasis on technicalities. The Burson does it really well, and he has a lot of power. The mids are really, really nice, powerful, strong, and still smooth. I really enjoy the Atrium Open with the Burson 3X GT. Now, the last one I enjoyed with is, surprisingly, this little guy here, or this expensive guy here. Now, this is the Mesh Kobo, the Mesh Kobo 475. Now, why do I enjoy it with the Mesh Kobo? It's because the Mesh Kobo represents the clarity part of it. Now, just now when I talk about the mini tube and the Burson, they always have this warmness, smoothness going for them. In fact, you can read online. That is really how I would describe both of these devices. But the mesh combo is not exactly warm. It is more towards the neutral side, and it also has a slightly less energy on the mids, but it makes the soundstage really wide, really nice, and it is still relatively smooth. But even though it is actually a very detailed, high clarity amp, when you listen the mesh combo and the Atrium Open, it always feels like there is this clarity, there is openness. It emphasizes a little bit more on that clarity itself, but never too distracting itself. And it sounds really wide. The mesh combo also won't make the Atrium Open even more warm, more smooth. It feels nicely, a touch of warmth. Still mainly neutral, with a touch of warmth there. And it's, if you are into that kind of sound signature, you don't want that warm, tubey sound or the warm, big sound that the person gives you, this is the alternative, you know, if you like that high clarity sound, but no, not detract too much from what the Atrium actually delivers. So that is really it. This is the review of the Atrium Open. I think it's a fantastic piece of headphone. This is my highest graded headphone, or this is my second highest graded headphone. It's sitting either with the Bravura or just slightly below the Bravura when it comes to general quality of the headphone itself. That is how good the Atrium is. And the best part, it doesn't break your bank like some $6,000, $5,000, $4,000 headphone. This is still half the price of many of the extreme high-end flagships. It's beautifully built, very nice to wear, doesn't cost like those extreme flagships, but it is really one of the most enjoyable piece of headphone. Now, if you were to ask me, who is it not for? Because I think it fits many people, too many people. I think everybody can enjoy this headphone. Who doesn't it fit? People who like the extreme punchy bass. This is probably not for you. It has punchy bass, but just not the extreme punchy type. Not for you. And the other person that probably wouldn't like is that you don't like warm headphone, you don't like smooth headphone. You want technicality. Neutral, very clear, everything you want to inspect. Not for you. I mean, I can name you a few headphones that can do it. In fact, I would say the DCS stuff probably does it slightly better. But I don't know. I still find this way more enjoyable. So that's really it. This is the ZMF Atrium Open review. I hope you enjoy this short little one, because this is just so awesome. I highly recommend you can try it out whenever you can, in one of the Can Jams, in your local retailer shop. Try it out, because this may delight you. But once again, this is not a headphone that will make you suddenly sit up and notice that, oh, this is so great, it's an expensive headphone. No, this is enjoyable, and if you decide to inspect the music while listening, you can see and feel and hear every single details this headphone gives you. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.